Hi, today we're going to be installing the security cargo lid from Aries Automotive onto the back of our 2013 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon Unlimited Edition. So from the factory, if you get a hard top, you'll be able to basically close everything up and secure your items inside the hard top. Soft top gives you a little bit of security, but somebody can always cut in there with a razor or something and get into your area where you keep your valuables. And then of course, as Jeep owners, you want to run her naked sometimes. You want to take everything off, right? So it leaves basically this open area back here where you put your valuables. If you're going on to a off-road track or going on some long hike with the family, you can keep your valuables back here. Right now it's just open. So with the aluminum security cargo lid from Aries Automotive, we're going to lock this area down and prevent anybody from going in here. So let's take a look at the boxes and the containers and see what we get in them. Okay, so what ships out to you for the security cargo lid are going to be two boxes. Looks like it's going to have some of the smaller materials, obviously in the smaller box. Let's see what's in here. It looks like the side panels and some of the pieces to the top. And then in the larger box, we're going to have what looks like the center section and probably the rear section that locks in the entire area, including where the back seats would fold down. So let's break open the boxes and the packaging and see everything that we got in here. Alright, first thing you want to do is if you have your hard top or your soft top on, you want to remove those from the Jeep. We're going to use the existing locations for the mounts to install the security cargo lid. So once you can get those off, you have everything cleared and ready to go, you can start your install. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is lower your rear seats. Right, so we're going to use the two connection points, which are going to be here and here, to begin the install. What you're going to do is use a 18mm socket and just remove those two bolts. Alright, now that you have both bolts removed, now we're going to install the bottom crossbar. As you notice here, you want to have the mounting holes here facing towards you. So we're looking at the back of the Jeep. And then just mount them back down with the 18mm nuts that you just removed. But don't install them too tightly yet, just make it snug. We'll come back and tighten everything up later. Okay, now that we have the bottom crossbar in place, now we're going to install the back seat panel. So you're going to line up the back seat panel. Basically here, the lip is going to be going towards the back. You'll see here. So you want to have it facing back towards the gate. You'll see here. There's kind of a finished side. The finished side you want to face towards the front of the Jeep. And the flatter side is going to be towards the back. Alright, so now we're going to install it into these holes, already pre-mounted, the hardware provided. And we're just going to snug them in there. Again, not too tight. So let's go ahead and start that. Now that we got the back rear seat plate installed, we're going to start off with installing the foam around the edges here. Okay, most likely this is going to be where the security lid sits on top of, so you don't want to scratch and rub metal against metal. So what you want to do is thoroughly prepare these sections here. Alcohol prep, something to just clean it down to remove any dust, debris, anything that's kind of laying on there so the adhesive gets a firm surface. So we're going to prep both these sides and install the foam layer. Now that we have the tape installed, foam insulation or the foam tape on either side, we're going to move on to the center section. Right, so we're going to connect the center section to each of these locations here. And then again, we're just going to snug up the bolts, not too tight. So let's go ahead and do that. And now we have the center section lid in place. Normally you would get somebody to help you out with this one, since kind of got to lay it on this piece here on the back seat panel here and then screw them in on the bottom. You can see it here going across. But with a little homemade support, you can do the same thing, just as long as you have something to prop up the security lid, the center section piece in, while you get those bolts in, is really all you need. Right, again, you just kind of snug them in there. Don't tighten them just yet. We'll come back and do that. Now we're going to be installing the side plates, right off your center section. So with the crossbar right here, you're going to need to move this up, right? So with playing with it back and forth, you just need to move it up so that your side plate basically reaches towards the back here, right? So you see we need to position it back a little bit further. But you'll see once it becomes centered within your roll cage, the back end support here, then you're pretty much lined up. You're going to use provided screws in here. These are the button head screws, and you're just going to snug them down again, not over tighten them or not tighten them up just yet. So we're going to start with the driver's side here, and then work our way around to the additional hardware that needs to be installed. Now that we have the two button head bolts snugged up here, now we have to snug up or install the bolts on the bottom. You can see them right here. They're going to be on the driver's side plate here and here. So you just want to snug them up as well. And then once we have these bolts all snugged up here underneath and on top, then we're going to move over to the passenger side right here and basically do the same thing. Alright, so now what we want to do here is connect the or loosen the latch plate, and then install the driver's side rear bracket to this latch plate. So we're just going to use a hex key or hex bit and just loosen this up here. Actually, we want to mark it, right? So just kind of mark the size, you know where it is. Let's get a little line down the side here, just so I can line it up when I tighten it back up, make sure it's still in the same position. We're just going to loosen this here. And next we're going to do some geometry here. We're actually Aries Automotive has done all the geometry for us, but we're going to install the passenger side bracket here, and then we're going to connect it up to this using the secondary bracket here and the additional hardware provided. So we'll snug that up there and get that all set. Now we got both side plates installed. We're going to install the smaller section, you see these plates right here, on either side. So there's one there, one here. They're just going to slide in there, and we're going to mount them to the 4 holes with the hardware provided. Now that we have the side plate inserts installed over here, now we're going to install the rubber stripping that goes around both sides. Alright, so you can see the opening here. We're just going to fill this in with the rubber stripping provided, and then we're going to cut it to length. Okay, we're just about coming into the home stretch here with the Aries Automotive security lid install. What we're going to do next is, normally you would install, if you have a hard top or a soft top, you would put that on to line them up. Out here in Southern California, you don't really use those things too often. So what I'm going to do is just take the bolts that Aries Automotive has provided, and we're going to install them into the locations that where the hard top mounts will be, right here, here, and here. So there's going to be 3 on each side. And we're just going to secure them in place to make sure everything lines up. Once we do that, we're going to tighten up everything, make sure everything's lined up straight. We can close the gate, and we should be good to go. Okay, it took about 10, maybe 15 minutes to tighten everything down. So we're pretty much all set here. We're going to close this. You see here it folds into a workbench area, which is really good. Additional space to work on, or put stuff on while you're out on the trail. So we're going to close this up. There we go. So you'll see the deck is down now. Now we're just going to install the tie downs. You see here you got some spaces that they give you here for some extra tie down stuff, which is great for carrying cargo up here on the top of the deck. So it gives you a bit more storage room than you would normally have in a Jeep. We all know how difficult storage comes by. So we're going to install the tie downs, make sure everything is locked down, and we'll just do a final review after that. Okay, we're all set. So we did the finishing touches. Just installed some of the rubber outside the mounting to the exterior, as you see it going down the back of the tailgate there. Put on the tie downs, which is a nice feature just to add some additional cargo storage to it. So let's take a look at the inside back. So you'll see here it's just solid. You're not going to be able to get to any of the cargo that you have back here, at least through the back seats. We'll take a look at the tailgate. So the only access you're going to be able to have to the trunk is opening up the tailgate, or if you have the tailgate closed, you can open it up this way. There you go. So that's it right there. So very secure. I mean, if anybody's going to try and get into anything, they're going to do it, but this is going to give them one hell of a hard time trying to access this. And you'll see here it has some pins. These pins will go into, let's see if you can see that there, into this section right here, right, and they'll just lock this in place. Otherwise you'll just be able to open this all the way up with the seats down. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So we'll take the back seats down right here. And take this seat down. There you go. And now you'll be able to fold this over like we showed you earlier. So it becomes basically a table or a mounting area. So you'll be able to use it as a workbench or place materials, or even if you just in the middle of a run, sit in the back, put some stuff up here, drinks, food. Makes a nice little area to keep your stuff. That's it. So very good product, very secure. Overall install time, probably say it's about maybe an hour and a half or so to go through everything. There's little parts and components that need to be done, but when you're done, something that's very proud to have. So there you go, security container from Aries Automotive.